today with another video. My friend Elle and I are collabing and doing a 5-part video series, pretty much all things baby. And this is video number 3. We are giving you our 5 tips for successful breastfeeding. So make sure and go and check out Elle's channel. I know that she has an incredible journey in regards to breastfeeding, so she'll have a video linked as well as her 5 tips for you. My 5 tips pretty much are gear related because I think it kind of helps the process and makes things easier. I breastfed my son Camden until he was about 9 months old. We started giving him real food at around 5.5 months, and once that started, he was like, I like real food, Mom. But I continued to do it, and the only issues that I really did have was I overproduced, and one side became my dominant side. So kind of figuring that out was an issue. Trial and error, definitely. But here are my 5 tips to help you have successful breastfeeding with your little one. So my first tip would be to get a breast pump. Now, this can go either way and be controversial, but I think it's important to develop a great supply, and you can do that without a breast pump, but with a breast pump, it just allows for so much more proficiency almost, because you can pump after you feed your child to up the supply. Plus you can store that breast milk and put it into a bottle and have somebody else feed your child, which gives you time away from it, because breastfeeding is work. You think that the pregnancy is work, which it is. You think that the labor is work, which it is. But the real work, in my opinion, comes when baby is here and you're breastfeeding, because it is nonstop. Especially for the first, month or so, or first few weeks, because you're establishing your supply, you're getting to know what your baby needs and all that stuff, but it's definitely work. So be mentally prepared for that as well. Just go into it knowing that it's not gonna be easy, but try different things. So breast pump for me was amazing. I actually had to have a medical grade one supplied to me because my baby was jaundiced for about 24 hours. But they like you to up your supply and pump and get as many fluids to your baby as possible within a short amount of time after they're born, and that cleared it right up. But that was amazing. Those pumps are awesome. Now you can go ahead and buy a breast pump on your own, but those can run upwards of $200, $300, $400. So my suggestion is to check with your healthcare provider, and most likely the insurance companies will provide you with a breast pump. Now there'll be certain brands, or it could be a single motor, it could be it just depends on what coverage you have, but check with your provider first. And especially if you live in the United States, no matter what provider you have, you can go on the Affordable Care Act website, which is Obamacare, not getting political, but utilize it, because you are guaranteed, and by law and under that new act, you should be given a breast pump for free. So I did that with my last baby, and I got my breast pump for free, and it was amazing. And that one was great for when I traveled. Obviously the medical grade one comes in this huge tackle box kind of thing, so I got rid of that when I traveled, but the one that was provided was awesome. So that enabled me to have a break. It enabled me to pump milk, store it. I had milk for up to a year, and we would use that when we would go on trips, my husband and I, away from baby, because I think that's important in the process, because you can feel like you are just you and this baby and your boobs, and it can get a little closed in. And I think the more help you have, if somebody can feed your baby, utilize that. I'll have a link below to where you can get the information for the Affordable Care Act below. Tip number 2 would be to get comfortable. Now, I think obviously you and your baby need to be comfortable getting in the right position, and I think Elle goes more into that, but find an amazing nursing pillow, or more times than not, when I was nursing, I would just use one regular bed pillow under my elbow in the chair that I was using, because for late night feedings especially, because the arms came up pretty high. So it was a very comfortable position for me, and I just sometimes felt that the nursing pillow was like too much. You're buckling it here, it wasn't like, and now I did use the My Breast Friend pillow, which, sorry my best friend, I would not suggest that pillow. It's, first of all, it's designed by a man, so that should have been my number one hello red flag. But it just didn't work for me. So I stopped at that, and I really just started using the pillows that I had. I even used my pregnancy pillow. So just kind of trial and error that as well, and just really get comfortable, but utilize pillows to prop up your arm, because your arms will start to get very sore, and if there's tightness, anything through your pecs, that can, you know, affect supply sometimes. So just get really comfortable with your positioning. Tip number 3 is to utilize technology. There are so many amazing apps now that do it all, and they can track poopy diapers, they can track sleep cycles, they can track how you're emotionally feeling, they can track doctor's appointments, medications, dosages, all of that good stuff. So get a breastfeeding app. Now, when I left the hospital, I had lactation consultants, you know, telling me to track how much my baby should have been feeding. And typically, if your little one has 6 to 8 wet diapers in a day, they're on track. But if you want to be more precise on how many minutes and that kind of thing, they would have me write it down. Oh my gosh. And so I had this piece of paper that, and I don't even know why I didn't think of this earlier, but I had this piece of paper that just had all of my times, the dates, the sides, how, you know, I didn't know how much my baby was eating, but yeah, it was just, I look back now thinking, God, that's so archaic, and there's so many great apps now. So I use the Baby Feed app, and this one is amazing because you can basically just hit which side you're finishing on, and so when you go to feed the next time, it'll tell you which side to start on. Because when you're sleep deprived and you are just a milk machine, you forget which side you ended on. So that just kind of helps keep track, and then it just keeps track of how many minutes as well. So get one of those. If you're really into seeing the growth of your baby, because in the first, 2 weeks, they like to see your baby come back to its birth weight, because most babies lose, go below their birth weight before they're, or when they're born. What? You know what I'm saying? And so I met this great woman at the ABC show in Las Vegas, and there's this new baby scale, and it's cool because it's really comfortable, it's pretty chic, it's very easy to use. I'll have it all linked below, but it's by Hatch, and it's a baby scale. So you can weigh your baby naked before you feed, and then once you're done nursing, you can weigh the baby again, and it'll actually kind of show you how many ounces you're giving your baby. So I think that's amazing, because you can have that in the comfort of your own home and not have to wait for your next doctor's appointment, just to see if you're on track, especially if you're really concerned about it. So I'll have that link below, but that I haven't tried yet with my own child, but I'm hoping to with the second baby. Tip number 4 is to get a nursing cover or some sort of great swaddle blanket. I think a lot of moms, especially those that are on the more conservative side or just more modest, feel like they're exposing everything out in public, which I could get on a whole other tangent about that. But yeah, if you feel like you need to be more comfortable out in public, or even if you're on your couch and you have visitors coming over and you don't want, your sister's boyfriend to see you breastfeeding, there's ways to get around that. So they have a million different nursing covers. I don't know. Those to me, again, kind of like the nursing pillow, there's so many like straps, or there's just so much going on that I remember feeding Camden in one, and I thought I was like suffocating him, and it was even like a linen breathable material. And then I was hot, and it's just like this whole thing. So I would just use the Aiden and Renee bamboo swaddles, those really light, soft ones. They're huge. You can use them for a million different things. So I ended up just using that as a nursing cover, because I could flip it around. I could do so much with it. I could make it a certain size. and I was just way more comfortable with that. So, and it's cost effective because you're using it for swaddling and for other purposes. So I would suggest either finding a really great nursing cover that you love or just use a blanket. Also on that tip, a lot of times, because if you're wearing a nursing bra or a tank top or you have to pull a shirt up or something, a lot of women don't want their like side showing, or if you have that like extra baby weight still there, that a lot of women can get embarrassed by that. So there's these great like tank tops now you can get, they're called like boob tubes. They're just basically like a halter, or not a halter, but like a strapless shirt that can come down, and you can then have your nursing bra under that. I mean, there's endless options there to keep your sides covered, so you're a lot more comfortable. And tip number 5 is to get the lily pads. They are amazing. It's the brand Lily Pads, and they are silicone adhesive breast pads basically. The Lily Pads are awesome because those disposable pads, although they like soak up a lot, first of all, bad for the environment. Second of all, it's just ridiculous because you can see them through your bra, you can see them through your shirts. There's just this creasing because they come in these packs where they're folded, and then you unfold them and they're just this weird triangle shape. They don't like lay flat. I just had the worst luck with them. So these Lily Pads are awesome. You can get them at Target. They're like 20 bucks, and I use them throughout the entire breastfeeding process. I'm going to be using them again. Now it does collect, if you do leak, it does collect the little bit of leakage. So you have to be careful when you're pulling it off if you're in public or something, to have a towel there and make sure your clothing's out of the way because it will get on that. But man, I would 100% highly recommend those. So there you go, as far as gear and successful breastfeeding tips, those are mine. I hope these tips find you and hope you find them helpful. So check out Elle's video once again, and just to dive into more tips in regards to successful breastfeeding. I hope your journey is a good one. So be sure to leave your tips and anything that you have to recommend to me for my second baby. I am really anxious to hear what you guys have to say. Find us on Instagram and all the social medias, and we'll see you guys there. And again, we'll see you next week for our 4th video in our 5-part series. See you then. Bye.